Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Premier Perspective. Today we are here to talk about this week's Premier League action. Let's start off with Friday. Newcastle Leeds 1-1. Not really too interesting of a game. Nothing really to talk about there. Newcastle really hasn't started off well. Leeds are just Leeds right now. Nothing else to say really.
Yeah, I mean, that game,
Yeah.
Newcastle, Leeds just mid-table type stuff, the average, the typical Leeds for them.
Yeah, and then we had a bunch of Saturday morning games. We had Brentford with a nice 2-0 win versus Wolves. Watford picking up some good points with a 3-1 victory over Norwich, who have looked absolutely poor so far. They usually, they need to find the middle ground. They're too good for the championship, but not good enough for the Prem.
Yeah, they
Basically,
really haven't been. Yeah, they
it's the
currently
same
sit
thing.
bottom on 0 points,
They
and then they
come
go
up,
back and win
then
the
they get
championship every
relegated,
year.
and then just a constant cycle. But yeah, Arsenal with another 1-0 victory. Nice to see them back to back
Getting boys, come on.
back to back wins for Arsenal. Manchester City with a very terrible performance, tying 0-0 with Southampton. They were poor throughout. Um, Watching this game was very painful as a fan because there was just no creativity in the middle of the field. I don't recall the last time I watched a City game where they gave up the ball as much as they did. Just overall, not a good performance from Manchester City.
Yeah, and they just kind of look like they wanted to just play a kick around possession game for 90 minutes, and against a team like Southampton that isn't really going to challenge you like that. They do sometimes, but every team in the Prem will. But against a team that you have the personnel to go out and attack, I mean, City, any of those top five teams, it's disappointing to see them underperform because they have the personnel, they have the talent, especially in the midfield and creativity wise, to go forward and create chances in those type of games. But it doesn't always pan out for them. City does have a reputation for underperforming in some of those games that they shouldn't.
Do.
So
usually randomly against Southampton too.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Just one of those games for City. Liverpool, on the other hand, 3-0 win versus Crystal Palace. They've looked amazing so far this season. I said it from the beginning. They didn't get that many players, but I knew they were going to be good. And 3-0 versus Crystal Palace. Good result.
Yeah, Liverpool's been great. They've been playing Thiago a little bit better than he was last year. He's able to move up a little bit. Salah's been playing well. Mane's been playing well. Overall, the team is just clicking. You can just tell by the way they play, and they're an exciting team to watch as much
especially when they're at home.
Yeah,
I would say I think they have the best crowd in the league.
Yeah, they definitely do. They seem to almost never fail.
Yeah.
Even up until last season when they had that when they had their win streak at home or unbeaten run at home broken, they are one of those teams that are really strong, specifically when they're at home. You can just about always count on them to pull through then.
Yeah, and then the last game for Saturday, Villa versus Everton. I thought this was going to be a pretty 50-50 game, but now second half, Villa with 3 goals, and I believe it was about 9 minutes, and 3-0. Great performance from new signing Leon Bailey, Jamaican winger who came from the Bundesliga, off to a great start off the bench with the goal and assist, I believe. So that's good performance from him. And Villa. I thought that was a very convincing performance.
It definitely was. And Everton, like you said, I mean, that game, it was 50-50 until they scored in the 66th minute. And it was 9 minutes that they scored those 3 goals within. And they could have even had possibly 2 more within that time because they were just absolutely on fire once they scored that first goal. And Leon Bailey, man, one of the most exciting players to watch, in my opinion, this year in the Prem. Some players, when they come to one of those mid-table-ish teams, it's not an adjustment period, but they have trouble finding that extra little something against teams that are pretty solidified, like that Everton squad that was really solid last year in terms of they had and just the way they played.
And they've been good so far this year.
Yeah, Everton have been good so far, but especially Villa, this was a really convincing win, and especially for their newer players that they have, just in terms of the team, not newer to the league. Like Danny Ings has been playing amazing this season. We knew he would, coming from Southampton, all the goals he scored up until that injury last year, and just Leon Bailey adds that flair to the team.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that they really needed after losing a player like Jack Grealish to City. That's really what they needed to keep pushing forward the way they do. And I think Villa will be a team that's challenging in that top 7 area this season.
Yeah, for sure. And then moving to the 3 games on Sunday, we have Brighton versus Leicester City. Brighton did have a really good start to the season, but some very lackluster opponents that they played. So I didn't know really how to take the 3 wins, even though, 3 wins is a big deal from 4 games. But they decided to add to that with a 2-1 victory over Leicester, where they looked great. You had Danny Welbeck scoring goals, so there's a party happening.
You already know.
A lot of the times, you see Brighton dominate the game, end up losing, and this was one of those games where they took advantage of their chances. They had less possession, but they win the game. They take the 3 points, and now after 5 games, Brighton are a top 4 team.
They currently sit 4th and just 1 loss out of 5 games, and they've just been playing. They've been playing great. It's that drive, and I said it back in the predictions video. I said it last season when we would just talk about Brighton. I always say if they could be clinical, if they would play a little more seriously and realize that they could be a serious team if they take advantage of their chances and be consistent throughout full 90-minute matches, that they would be a top contender. And will they continue that throughout the season? I'm not sure. But for now, no matter who you play in the league, to have 4 wins from 5 games is
impressive.
It's really impressive, especially against a team like Leicester, who's able to pull off big wins, big upsets over other teams. So I think this was really solidifying. It was a big statement for Brighton to win against Leicester at the 100%.
Weekend. Next up, Chelsea beating Tottenham 3-0. Chelsea have another team that have just looked absolutely amazing so far. Goals from Thiago Silva, N'Golo Kante, and Antonio Rudiger. Tottenham, after winning their first 3 games and being on top of the table with their fans singing that they won the title in August, have now lost back-to-back games 3-0. And not the best time for Tottenham. Next weekend coming up, they have a London derby versus Arsenal. So if they lose that game, some big question marks for Tottenham, I would think.
I would say so too. And just Tottenham overall, I mean, they're one of those teams that
I feel like it was expected though.
No, it was
for them
totally
to lose
expected.
to Chelsea.
No, it was totally expected.
Chelsea's a great team,
but Chelsea absolutely dismantled them.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to Tottenham. Sometimes they just get dismantled by it was Palace last week, but against Chelsea, obviously we expected that, especially considering Chelsea has been incredible this year.
Yeah.
But that's not gonna win Tottenham titles in August or in May when the season's over. That's not gonna be able to be a consistent pattern if you're looking to seriously challenge for things. But Chelsea, on the other hand, have just been great, and I've said it all along, and I stand by it even for now. Chelsea are looking like top contenders in the league this year, and the other cups as well, even the Champions League, all the other competitions. Chelsea are so strong. They have a great squad depth, and they're consistent. That's their big thing. They stick together, and just the way they play, it's that they're gonna, or that they can create from just about nothing, and they can pull out a goal when they really need to against a big team. So they'll be a team that we're all going to be watching till the end.
For sure. I think Chelsea's going to be great. And another team that's off to a good start is Manchester United. After a very disappointing result in the Champions League, losing to Young Boys during the week, United responded after going down 1-0 to a deflected Benrahma goal. Cristiano Ronaldo scoring once again. It's pretty much inevitable at this point. 1-1 for the majority of the game. And after creating the mistake that led to United losing. Jesse Lingard gets his redemption by winning the game for United against his former club with an absolute screamer.
Beautiful goal. Oh my God.
Beautiful,
Top
beautiful,
thing.
beautiful goal.
Clear out the cobwebs. Thank you and
Yeah.
good night.
Yeah. Basically, Lingard needed that after, a very, very bad back pass that led to, young boys scoring and them losing their first Champions League game. Him coming on, scoring a great goal against his former club, which is sad. I know West Ham really loved Lingard while he was there,
Yeah.
but
Oh, totally. Yeah.
now he's back at United, and United, good victory. Wouldn't necessarily say an amazing performance, but a good win. These are the type of wins that you need early on in the season to grind it out, to get not to get lucky, but to have the lucky breaks. Things go your way, and United needed a win. They needed a good performance after what happened against Young Boys, and they produced it. And that pretty much wraps up the 10 games from this past Premier League weekend.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And United, just like a last little thing about them, this season, especially after getting Ronaldo in the team, they look really strong together. Yeah. They look like they play as a unit, and that's really like just the Ronaldo factor. In my opinion, they have other players that are strong. They have Varane that's really strong. Sancho hasn't been great, but we know that so far. And they have Bruno, or have had Bruno, but it's really Ronaldo that brings it together. There's a certain discipline about them that I watched them play with against West Ham, and they're not performing like that with Martial up top. They're not performing like that with Rashford up top. It's
a whole certain different ball game when Cristiano's in your team.
Right. It's just a discipline that you have as a squad, and that's going to take them really far this season, in my opinion. Even if they lose, stupid Champions League games like that. And so far in the Prem, they're third, only on 2 down on goal differential, haven't lost a game yet. And they've been great too. And it's that discipline that's going to really bring them up there to a high level.
For sure. It'll be very interesting to see how this Premier League continues to progress. Once again, we want to say thank you to anyone who's shown support on the channel. We're going to be back next week around this time with another Premier League update. So make sure to check that out. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon.